Hey, I'm Dan, and this is Dan's Planes. Yeah, so it has this kind of style motor shaft. It's not the kind where you put a collet on there to connect to the shaft. So what I need to do is add some offsets to these guys, see which ones I have that are small, and what the inside dimensions and outside dimensions are and all of that. So getting down to the point where it's almost ready to fly. I got the electronics set up, all the throws set up. So this I thought was going to be one of those, oh yeah, you buy it, it's a small model, in an hour or two you're going to have it put together, set up, and ready for the air. No, not by a long shot. And running into just small stoppers. I had pulled it out and set it back here on this workbench, thinking, oh yeah, I'm just going to whip that out in an hour or two. And like I said, ran into stopper after stopper. So the thing ended up sitting there for about a year and a half, taking up space, collecting dust, and risking damage and all of that. Until finally, more recently, I said, I need to actually get on it and get it done. Otherwise, sell it, because it's not serving a purpose. It's got to get through the tougher parts. So she's now down to the point where I've got to extend out the motor a little bit so I can fit on that other spinner, and then set the CG, and that should be it. I've been thinking in the back of my mind of how to make this situation better on the front wheel, because this is just awful. And if anyone has any suggestions, so on the outside we got a wheel collar just holding it to the shaft. Then on the inside you have this plastic spacer. There's the focus. And then the plastic spacer goes up against this, where it was designed to have two screws to hold the front and back halves together. Come on, focus you. Let's get some better light. That'll do it. So those screws are in there, which you can see the screw cracked on the one side. But even if that didn't crack, it would still be wobbling back and forth. And I have half a mind just to take the dang thing off, but thought it maybe another thing I might do is throw in a really large washer in between this gap here to try to just fill in the space basically, but allow it to still roll on that. So been thinking about that, but haven't had any perfect solutions for it. So drop me a line in the comments if you can think of anything. So I think that's it for now. She's getting closer. It's just been one of those planes where you don't get what you pay for and you get more than you bargained for. So I just want to get it done and flying. Fly or die. All right. Take care, everybody. Well, I wasn't going to do this today, but something got in me, a second wind or something, and decided to see if I had any extensions or standoffs, which I did. I needed it to be, I think, around 11.5 millimeters, but I had something like 13.5 millimeters. So we'll see how close she comes out. Stay tuned. Here's the front end after we're finished. Took a lot of removing cowl material. But I can't believe that I had those those extensions that were the right size. I mean, I don't know if it could turn out any better. So I finished that up and thought, all right, we're on the home stretch now. I thought I had fired up the motors before, but it's been so long this project has been going on that I really can't remember. But I set this up on my new Radiomaster TX16S 4-in-1 multi-protocol radio, and I plugged it in and I gave it just a little bit of throttle. Like I said, I swear I tested it with the propellers off, and after doing a little bit of throttle now, I found out that the pusher prop is going the wrong direction, which normally that's an easy fix. You just swap 2 of the 3 motor wires. But it's not an easy fix in this airplane because, number one, how they mounted the motor on here, if I remember right, when I had this rear cowling off, I couldn't tell how they were able to get to the mounting screws of it. I don't know if they had to take the motor apart or what they did, but I noticed at the time, because I almost swapped out these 2 motors for something that I thought might be more powerful, but I didn't. So the wires, of course, go all the way through here, and they are soldered together there, and then further back, I don't know if you can see back there, that where they're connected with their connectors, they then were heat shrunk over them. So I either have to try to cut these and resolder, which there's just, about 2 or 3 inches, about 2 inches, I think, of room there to try to do it. Or I have to somehow get into this, which is sheeted on all sides, to get into those wires. Or I have to take apart the rear end and see if I can pull the wires all the way through to where I can get them to where they're connected, and then swap the 2 and then pull it back. Then, what, that should normally be a little problem, but it's, of course, this airplane, and it's one of those planes. So it couldn't be easy. And when I gave just a little bit of throttle, this front motor didn't want to turn over. I thought maybe the settings were just slightly different. I gave it just a little more throttle, heard crackling sound, and then I saw the smoke. So the ESC got fried. Don't know why. It looks like the same ESCs on both of these. I don't know what the problem is, but that's where I am now. So now I've got to swap the wires in the back and then figure out what I'm doing with replacing this ESC. More frustrations before I can finally get it balanced and get to the field. All right, that's all. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dan from Dan's Planes. I just want to share some content about RC planes, something I've been passionate about since childhood. I'm hoping I can teach something to someone, I can start some discussion and learn some things from others. So let's just have some fun and learn some things together. If you enjoyed what you watched, it would really help me out if you could like, subscribe, and share. And if you feel that it helped you out in some way, or it might help future viewers, I'd really appreciate it if you'd visit my Patreon page and become a patron. It's like throwing a dollar tip into a guitar case when you pass by. It helps to fund future content and future projects that I'll be working on. I plan to show some past content. I have some other flights and I have some fly-in events that I've been to. And I also plan to show future flights and future repairs, as well as building ARFs, and if I can ever get back to it, building my top flight Spitfire. So there's a lot of content to come, but it's viewers like you that are able to support what I'm doing, and by doing that, I'm able to spend more time creating that content in the future. So I'd really appreciate it. But either way, thanks for watching, and thanks for any support, and I wish you blue skies and good speed.